Aries, you are a fire being. You are here to pioneer boldly, courageously, using that daredevil spirit inside of you. And you are here to also show the world how life can be seen through the lens of the youngins, the youth. This is the youthful sign.
Lunatic astrology.
Hello, Aries, fated, destined love stories are headed your way. I promise you something big is happening, as well as you're just feeling a lot better about the joy, the play, the fun, and the pleasure that life has to offer you. August is opening up not only an eclipse in your romantic fifth house, Venus is entering your seventh house, giving you a beautiful glow up. You are going to feel love is in the air, whether you're loving yourself, other people are loving you, or your audience is saying you are nothing but the best. It gets you into a vibe in the month of August where you feel life's rewards are stepping into your life for a way that maybe you can't compare to. This is like the eclipse of the century. The last time we had an eclipse is total solar eclipse. We're in the 1970s. So the 1971 total solar eclipse Leo story in August is very old. So you don't know what it's like to have this explosion in your life. And when I say fated, this eclipse is with the South Node. It can really rearrange your relationship to art, creativity, the muse, your entrepreneurial energies, your feeling of inspired excitement about reality. And you're going to notice it impacts your children positively as well. Your children get collateral benefits from Jupiter in your fifth house and from the eclipse. And the South Node tells us also there are deep soulmate energies going on here in anyone you meet around the month of August into the aftermath of that eclipse. So we're going to break it down in detail. I want you to know that there's a lot going on in the month of August, and we're certainly not going to cover everything. This is for sun, moon, and rising. I'm hoping you'll understand that I'm picking the highlights that are cherry picked for you as an Aries, as a Mars ruled individual. And I can relate. I have my sun and my moon in Aries. For a lot more content, you want to check out every video I put out every month, every week, every day almost, and you'll have other deeper dives beyond this one overview for the month. So Aries, you are a fire being. You are here to pioneer boldly, courageously, using that daredevil spirit inside of you. And you are here to also show the world how life can be seen through the lens of the youngins, the youth. This is the youthful sign. It's very playful. It's very brave. And you know what's happening for you, and you probably feel it? Saturn. Saturn entered into your sign for a kind of full-time occupation starting in February of this year and doesn't leave until April of 28. But don't be disheartened. What Saturn does is take that youthful vigor, that extraordinary can-do energy that you are capable of, and it gives you structures and forms and the gift of time to accomplish what you want to accomplish. And it's against that backdrop of a very realistic and stern and stoic Saturn that you enter into the month of August as a Saturnian warrior, and an old but young energy at the same time. So in August, we're already experiencing the blessings of Jupiter as he has ingressed into Leo the month before. And with Jupiter now in your sign since the end of the month of June, you are feeling hopeful about life. There's a beginning of a stirring of optimism. You know that cup can be half full because Jupiter's travel through your fifth house is the house of good fortune. And it is about what you want to give birth to. And all the way through till July of 27, not only do you attract as an Aries good fortune, but you attract as well energies that support you for your sun, moon, and rising. And you know, your sun is your career and purpose, your moon is your home and nest and how you think about life, and your ascendant, your rising sign, is your simulation character. And all of these energies get blessed by Jupiter. I think that with Jupiter here, you want to give birth to something. And this is true for a whole year, but that eclipse in August will jumpstart what it is you want to give birth to. It could be a real baby, or your children are making babies. It could be giving birth to something like a book or a writing project or a career path or an entrepreneurial thing. that you want to create, or any kind of inspired creativity. And energetically, Jupiter wants you to also factor in the addition of the South Node of Fate. That South Node entered here uh, and joined Jupiter at the end of last month, and the energy is one of surrender. So Jupiter was kind of doing just himself on steroids in July, right? But then in August, he's like, okay, can we consider the deeper spiritual factors? Can we consider the past lives? Can we consider the natural talents and gifts we're born to express, not just genetically, not just from what we learned from mom and dad, that's fine too, but those talents and gifts that you might be here to express because you knew how to do them in a past life. It's like the bucket or the chalice or the well of the South Node that looks like a cup is saying, do you want to use these gifts that you have from multiple incarnations? And so there is a vibration of being gifted on top of everything else with new abilities or talents that you didn't know you had, or a deepening, furthering, and more powerful expression of the talents you already know that you have to sing, to dance, to write, to communicate, to sell. I don't care. What are you good at? That's what you're going to get bigger and better at. Now, Jupiter here can bring celebrity. Jupiter here can bring money wins, like winning a lottery. Money can come through Jupiter in the fifth house. And it can also be Jupiter expands your money connected to land and property, like to sell a property and you're going to take in a huge amount of money in this year ahead. So it's a blessed energy. The eclipses are the big deal. It is the only thing that really matters in August. So for you, because you're trine to it, meaning there's a fire trine between your Aries fire and the fire of Leo in your fifth house, you don't mind this eclipse. No matter how big, how bold, and how audacious it is, you're going to roll with it because you're welcoming the growth, the change, and the expansion that it can offer you. You may detach a bit from one of your children, maybe because that South Node says let go of a child, too much attention to that kid. That can happen here. But most of you are going to feel an expansion energy of all things in your life. So the eclipse is going to be on August the 12th. So we're going to break it down week by week, and I'll get to that eclipse exactly when it happens. We'll focus in today's video on Mars. Mars is the Lord of your sign, and what is he actually up to as well? We have a second eclipse in Pisces at the end of August. We'll cover that too. Don't forget, when you like and subscribe, you help my channel grow. And if you didn't know it, I am a teaching astrologer. I have so many classes I've taught over the years, and I'm teaching my Sky Reader class, which is to time your best life, to read your own sky read, and to be your own astrologer. And I give you 2 easy timing tools at the end of the 7 weeks together that anyone in a very basic understanding of astrology can use. But in the class, we first build you up to read the sky, to understand the language of astrology. We have guest teachers, we have teaching assistant staff, we have Facebook group, we have a Discord group, and we have Q&As every week. So if you want to join me in a live class, replay available, content is yours forever. You have a deep 40% early bird discount until July 29th. After that, there's another discount until the end of August, and then it's full price as September rolls in. We start the 3rd week of September. I'd love to see you guys there. Okay, so if you have a scholarship need, like let's say you want to take the class and you have financial need, you can also contact us around that as well. And information about my contact email will be in the description box below this video. All right, so I'm going to bring you to the sky. We're going to share the sky together and take a look at it. And I am recording, thank God. And we're going to be here no longer than 30 minutes. My new rule of thumb is these are 30-minute videos. I was going really long for a while, and it made me realize that I can't go that long. It's too much work. So I do a lot of videos every month. You don't have to just rely on this one. I have a lot of videos in deeper dives of everything that we talk about here. All right, so here we have the sky and we have Aries. See the Aries ascendant? That's sun would be here or moon would be here. If we're talking about moon, we pretend that we rotate the dial to put the sun and moon in the first house. So as we begin the month and we talk about the first week of August, if I'm talking too fast for you, I apologize, but I do have an auctioneer inside of me. You're going to notice that this is really a kind of a first 5 days of August. It's just that mini grand trine. The Barbaro basket was happening last month. I'm not going to cover that. It's very subtle, and we've covered it in many other videos. So they're kind of going to roll into the month with just this triangle taking form and sort of giving you ease and flow, you know, with online social media, with friends and family, and with siblings, siblings, one younger, one older, all siblings in general, but also just maybe a really good buzz in your social media landscape or your social groups as well. And then we get to August 6th, and we're going to notice that the trine of the sun can bring a real harmony to how you've been feeling. If you've been feeling heavy and weighted down by this sober realism, like you might have a shoulder problem, you might be aching in your back because you're really carrying a lot of responsibility since Saturn entered here back in February. And it maybe not even for yourself, for a child, for a spouse, for another person. And so this energy of heavy duty responsibility lightens up on around August 5th to the 8th as the sun forms this beautiful trinal energy. And all of a sudden, there's some relief. And the relief can look like many things. This can be a situation where a good person reaches out to you and offers you something, a favor, a blessing. Let's move ourselves by days into what it looks like. So here we have this beginning to open up around the 4th of the month through until about the 8th, when you really feel relief. Jupiter can give you luck relief. So, Saturn is a ruler of windfalls. So some of you in the first week of August could come into a win, a financial win, a windfall of some kind that feels like money and good fortune have come together at last to favor you. And it doesn't have to be a lottery ticket, but would feel like you have a jackpot situation on your hands, a good fortune situation on your hands. And so you'll be feeling blessed is what I'm saying. And you'll feel energized and vitalized by this flow. You'll feel relief. If you have your sun or moon or rising close to 14 degrees of Aries, you're really saying hallelujah, because it feels really good on you. Now, as we move on, we're good for your physical health and increasing your vitality as well. Then we go on and we think, oh, that was nice. Thank you, universe, for that blessing. And we move into the 7th to the 14th of the month. Well, 7th to the 14th of the month is pretty quiet except for Venus. And Venus is, and of course, the eclipse on August 12th. Venus around the 9th and 10th is going to move into a trine to Pluto, which can be the power of love and the love of power. It can also be a wealth trine, so bringing money your way. And you'll notice as she does this trinal energy that she's moved into Libra. Now, this is her home kingdom. There is Pluto that she's flowing to in an air trine. Venus in Libra is in her best shape here, and she's in the house of committed long-term love relationship. She's in the house of your audience and marketplace and business partners, and she's going to bless you there, and she's going to stick around blessing you there all the way through till September 10th. But at the same time, her initiation is let me flow beautifully, if I may, to the god of power and wealth. And he's a money god and he's in a money house because we can get windfalls here. But there's a couple of other things that could happen. You may be introduced to wealthy, powerful people. You may be exposed to a new audience or some marketplace that all of a sudden up levels your power and authority in influencing larger groups of people. And you may, if you were single, meet somebody new. But if you're going to meet somebody new under this, and I see nothing wrong with that because of the sextile from Jupiter, it's likely to meet that person in the 11th house zones, more likely through your friends, your groups of belonging, your social circles, or maybe through your work and related activities. But it could bring in a powerful new destined and soulmate love. And in fact, if you're a single person, Jupiter's transit here for a year until July of next year, along with the South Node of Fate. South Node of Fate and Jupiter haven't been here together since the early 1990s, 1990, 91. So this is a very rare combination for bringing in a kind of divine complement or true partner of destiny. If you're already in a relationship and you're committed and married, then it's just going to solidify the enjoyment you have between each other. This is a classic grandchildren are coming signature as well, just so you know. And in fact, the grandchildren are coming signature begins as early as July the 27th last month. 26th, 27th, and will last with Jupiter's support for a whole year. So you've got to kind of get ready to be a grandparent if you are not one yet. And if you're not old enough or you're of your own childbearing age, this is a fertility signature and you could have children, but Jupiter means more than one. So you might end up with a triplet or a quadruplet or something inside your belly, inside your womb as a woman. This can bring more than one child. All right, now, if you fall in love with somebody under this, they have children because more children coming into your life. You increase the amount of children that you have in your life. So this would be what this could look like. And in come the new children, right? Now, the next thing I want to say is that as you go through the eclipse portal, as they say, the portal really opens up 6 weeks before. because it's a total solar eclipse. So you're going to be feeling all through July into mid-August this building energy of a total solar eclipse. And to achieve a total solar eclipse, we must get the moon to join in. And here we have a new moon. Will be at 20 degrees and it's with the south node and it is an eclipse. Now, energetically speaking, this is going to open up a door of something new and something fresh that starts from scratch. You know, like it's destined and fated. You could have done something like this in 1990, 91, maybe, but otherwise forget it. This is a new beginning and a fresh start in things to do with creativity and romance and entrepreneurship and good fortune and inspiration and the muse and the use of your talents in the world. And here we go. Kaboom. It's starting out now. And I love it because, of course, you are getting some relief from the Saturnian intensity. But what I love about Saturn and Neptune together is that Neptune lays the tracks using your imagination for the reality train to follow. That's a quote by a fellow astrologer, Carolyn Casey. And it's this combination. You're a dream maker. You're a dream weaver. You're right in a time that's really rare through to April of 28, where you can truly weave your dreams into being because you have the power of Neptune's imaginal realms. He's also enlightenment-y and spiritual, and Saturn could be like sage-like wisdom. There's a combination of that plus this ability to structure your dreams in ways that make them come true that you necessarily haven't had. It's not fantasy. It's actually how you can make your dreams come true in structured, measured, patient, perseverant time. And you're going to learn how to diligently schedule and align the time in a way that works for you. Put yourself into a timeline that works for you as well. So this energy is beautiful. And as you go through this eclipse on the 12th, please don't look at it. I'm asking people not to. It's up to you. And the ancients say don't look at a solar eclipse directly. I mean, I don't mean because your eyeballs will blind you. Just don't look at lunar or solar eclipses. Like, let it go. It's not a thing. Okay. It could be a bad omen for the output afterwards. So just try not looking at it if you like to listen to a friendly warning. All right. Okay. We're moving past the eclipse. We're going to get on to the next story. So after the solar eclipse on the 12th of the month, oh, and this is good for your children. Positive, fresh starts and new beginnings for your children. Maybe new beginnings in love. Maybe wedding bells are ringing. Maybe they're having children too, that kind of thing. Now, after the eclipse has happened, and that's going to be on the 12th of the month, we're also moving, and we have to notice, by the way, that as the eclipse happens, Venus is trining Uranus. That means there's a positive surprise within the eclipse. You may not get the actual surprise the day of the eclipse, but a couple of days before and after August the 12th, Venus is going to bring you a surprise. And it can be about a love surprise, a travel surprise, a surprise around a social media project. Maybe you're going to go viral, some kind of very positive surprise. It could be also a surprise regarding a sibling 3 older or 3 younger, a sibling 1 younger, or siblings in general. And unexpected but positive surprises light your sky up. And it's beautiful because it kind of creates a mini trine, as you can see, like a kite in a trine to your Leo sky. So you could win money, you could take off in the social media landscape, unexpected travel opportunity. You could be falling in love because you're traveling and you're blown off your rocker because you can't believe you met somebody, that kind of thing. So it's very nice energy attending the eclipse on the same day of the eclipse. All right. Now we're going to go past the eclipse, past all of that to the next part of the story. As we move into that second week a little further and dig our heels in, what are some of the things that you might want to pay attention to? I like the Venus-Mercury sextile because it means good news. Let's talk about Mercury. Mercury was not in your 5th house. He was stuck forever in your 4th house for all of June, all of July, until August the 9th, retrograding. You've been doing a lot of nostalgia, a lot of childhood, like especially during the retrograde, right? Behind you, like the first 3 weeks of July, a lot of nostalgia about the past, a lot of looking to your past, reflecting on your childhood, reflecting on matters to do with growing up. And so what happens is that finally Mercury gets out of here and he's now ready to rock and roll. And he's good in the 5th house. He's good for creativity and in art and selling and marketing and ideas and generating great creative ideas. And he likes to be here with Jupiter. They're co-creative ideas and they get big and they get expansive. So you're like doing fine. And by the way, Mercury represents the ballot, the ticket for winning money. So the chit, so to speak. So it's a good time to also play, know your limit, play within it. But Mercury will be in Leo to perhaps help you win some money if you want. So there's a luck window. And the window for his participation is until August 25th. And then he goes into your work house and you might work hard. All right. And leisure travel and pleasure travel is also importantly okay for you anytime he gets into this part of your chart. So August 9th to August 25th, go on trips, have some fun. But what I'm trying to tell you about the energy of Mercury is that he's in a flow to Venus. So this is like being asked on a first date, having really positive communications with your audience and marketplace, having something very positive like good news about a child. Now, this good news about a child can be pregnancy. So if it's good news for them, I hope it's good news for you. But good news about a child as well, getting married, weddings, proposals, pregnancy, that kind of thing. Hopefully your child's old enough. All right, we're moving past that. What about Mars? Yeah. So Mars enters into your 11th house, your fourth house on August the 11th, and he'll going to be here till September 28th. There's a couple meanings here. He's in debility. He's in the condition of his fall, and there may be difficulties in your domestic life. You may have squabbles with people. You may not like the way the vibe is in the home. Some of you might want to do construction of your home or renovations. Be careful because he's going to be overly ambitious and underly effective because of his debility here. You could also want to travel from home or move from home at this time. Even if you had a property, this would be selling a home and taking escrow or getting money from the sale of a property, all that kind of stuff, financing a new home. That kind of thing can be really strong for you. And it could work very well because Mars does rule your eighth house of financing and banks and loans. But his debility does worry me a little bit. So be a little bit more cautious and take your time. I wouldn't necessarily consider a purchase of a home ideal here, but because of the eclipse having happened in the fifth house, it can indicate a change of home. And this could be Mars's contribution. So you look for the urge to move your home, buy a home, extend your home, sell a home, anything like that. Look for those energies to happen with Mars's contribution, August the 11th to September 28th. If you're in a bad situation in your career and you don't like it, or a bad relationship, Mars here in a broad square to Venus can also say, let's quit. But there's more good going on than there is bad. So I think it's more like, what are you doing in the home? You could be working too hard in the home. Mars is your this planetary lord of your sign. Be careful you don't overstress yourself and then have health issues because you're busting your butt working too hard from home. So I'm a moon and I have an Aries moon and sun. I'll be teaching sky readers. So it's up to me to pace myself and to not overdo it. I'm just giving myself that warning right now. Okay, what's next? So many things going on. One of the things you might want to pay attention to as we move forward in the middle of the month is that Jupiter and Mercury become united in a conjunction. And this is usually a very powerful reset button that it dominates as the theme of good news, good information, good communication, big communication, and it's in the windfalls house. So this is where I said buy a ticket, right? And you're probably rolling your eyes, but it's probably the best time I've seen in a long time for anybody who happens to be you, an Aries, to buy a games ticket and see if you can win. Okay. So because it's, sorry, we got to get back to you because we have essential time problems. So give me a sec. So buy a ticket. When should you buy a ticket? You should buy a ticket when these two co-join together. So I'm thinking your lucky time is going to be around August the 9th until August the 13th when these two are in a conjunction. Depends on where you live, time zone dependent. August 15th is pretty tight. So 14th, 15th, around there. A little bit before is ideal, not after. And with the south node, it'd be a faded wind and the sun is shining brightly there, showing you what's possible. And it just may feel like a time of great fortune, whether or not you are winning a ticket or playing a game and winning. But I do like this energy for you. So play something if you want, see if you can win. Venus and the moon are sextiling it. It feels like an opportunity as well. And you could get an email, phone call, text message with a golden opportunity to reach out to your audience, your marketplace, to have a new business partnership alliance. Also very good Mercury message, being asked to be monogamous, being asked to go on a date, being asked to, being proposed to if you're dating or living together, being proposed to, like wedding proposals, that kind of thing. You could be making announcements that you're going to have a grandchild. You could be making announcements or hearing that you're going to be a grandparent. You could be making announcements to the world that you have a child, or you're pregnant. These are other ways this could look around this time. And your own children will have some significant luck in their lives, and they'll maybe announcing this to you as well around the anywhere between about the 13th to the 16th of the month. Moving into the next story, Mars, your lord of your sign, squares Neptune. You are grateful for this because he'll help dispel any illusions that you're under that don't serve you, where you've convinced yourself that something is likely true and it probably isn't. With Neptune retrograde, you're already pulling back the fog on things that you recognize. This is not too shabby for removing escapist tendencies, habits, and addictions from your life when he's retrograde. Mars is a cutter and sever. If you're going to remove those tendencies, you're going back to childhood to look to the roots of your addictions, to the roots of your escapist habits. But there's also things that you might be seeing with a real eyeball for reality, both Saturn and Neptune retrograde, right? Saturn's retrograde until December. So you're looking backwards to move forward. And Mars is giving you a kind of cutting energy, also like defogging your windshield on your car. You want to go somewhere. Mars is like, we got to get going. Are we moving our home? Are we asking people to leave our home that live with us? Are we separating in a relationship? Are we arguing with our partner who we live with, or the families that we live with, the people in our home? Mars wants to get going and get moving and get on with something. Saturn is saying go slow, and Neptune says be realistic. So there's something there where there's maybe urgency but impatience here. That's August the 16th, maybe 2 days before and after. Really pay attention to the impulse control level on your dial of life. Saturn has got the dial for impulse control, but he's fallen. Mars has got good decision-making power and actions, but he's also fallen. It's like you could make a bad decision about your life at this point, about your career, about your long-term relationship, about where you live. So I'm going to say hold off. Impulse control will not serve you. Put the dial down and wait it out. Okay, wait out the 16th. The 17th, you're feeling it then. Now, when we go into the last half of the month, we're going to talk about a second eclipse coming up, so just get ready for that. But we're also going to make a little pay attention to the love is hard, money is hard, Venus-Saturn story. Normally, nothing Venus does is wrong, but she will oppose Saturn. This is Venus got strength, Saturn is weak here. So Venus is winning. Something could feel like a blessing with a curse, or like a dark side to a good story, because Saturn is like a Mr. Mopey, Mr. Grumpy, Mr. like, I'll believe it when I see it, Mr. Realism. And Venus is offering something that's quite fabulous. And it can be a woman, a female. It can be a client. It could be a customer. It could be a business partner. It could even be a new romantic partner, right? Because of the Jupiter story. And all of a sudden you're looking at it from a kind of jaded eye. And whatever this opportunity is, with Jupiter's blessings to Venus, it's good opportunity. And so I want you to overcome something where the situation, especially if it's in your career, Saturn rules your career, there's some opening, some opportunity, some blessing that wants to show up for you. And a lot of you are going to discard it, be jaded about it, or eyeball it side eyes. Like, I don't think this is true, or this is not worth my effort. It's not true. It is, and then love is hard could happen. If you got engaged with some relationship, I don't mean marriage, but you're in a new dating relationship. This is going to be where you trip it up for the first time. You're going to feel like it's hard. Something about this is going to just not work. Is it true? Probably not. It's just how you are intaking information from a very sage-like Saturn, but he's also very grumpy, and he's also impatient, and because he's an Aries. And by the way, key word for Saturn is patience. So you got to restore the patience factor about whatever your frustration is here, about love and maybe money, also about how you impact other people in your audience and marketplace and or your career. All right, let's jump ahead to the end of the month, where we're going to have an eclipse in the sign of Pisces, as well as a few other fun stories. So The eclipse that we're going to experience in Pisces is the last of a 2-year cycle of eclipses that began in the fall of 24 in Pisces. And that Pisces eclipse for you is in the 12th house. It is so subtle, you probably don't even notice this eclipse on August the 28th, but although you feel it building up to a month before and certainly in the 3 months that follow. This August 28th eclipse at 5 degrees Pisces can open a door for you, lunar eclipse, to look into your own self-undoing addictions, habits, and patterns and put a spotlight on it. But you've been putting a spotlight there already, starting in September of 24, starting in I think it was the spring maybe of 25. There was a Pisces solar eclipse, I believe, but there's been eclipses here for almost 2 years. So this eclipse is going to ask you to look more clearly at your story when it comes to your own self-undoing and sabotaging habits, but also you might spotlight your enlightenment, your spiritual life, the way you want to find the true meaning of life and who you are. This is an enlightenment house. The spotlight can also say you might have had some spiritual openings since fall of 24 with these eclipses here over and over again, both solar and lunar. And then the energy is also good for those of you who make money internationally from foreign companies, revenue, people, places, digital income, borderless revenue as well. There's a spotlight on that kind of money for you to consider what's going on. Let's bring ourselves to the actual sky for that. Moon in your 12th house, okay? It's going to happen on the 28th, but 27th, 28th, it's activating, time zone dependent. Hang on. In my view, with Mercury in the sun's heart over here, this is called a cazimi that happens the day before, it's intertwined. So it's kind of like the 27th and 28th. There's a divine mission headquarters in your work life that's being opened up for you, work and health, pets and rentals, and pets and dogs and rentals and debts. And there's a news story, a news flash. Mercury's opening an insight, giving you information. Maybe even phone calls and texts can come through around the cazimi of the 27th into the 28th. And now we have the eclipse. So the eclipse is also hooked up to what Mercury wants for you in this lifetime. Mercury's all about your social media, your teaching, your writing, your communicating, marketing, selling, local neighborhood, travel. That's his wheelhouse. And he's also connected very strongly to the other part of the chart that he's in. This is his home kingdom in Virgo. So he really can improve a lot of in your life here with the spotlight, the revealing of the spotlight in the 12th. I think some of you can change your money making ways of making money from foreign places and long distance shores and people. You might also be having a bit of a spark here, like a kind of clarity about your karmic debt situations in life and how you might want to rewire, like a zodiacal releasing, rewire your karmic debts in a sort of like a beautiful way. The eclipse opens a light to see how to release karmic patterns from your life in essence. If you're looking for a job, this could be a new job coming, but it'll come from someone who lives in a foreign land, or you'll move to a foreign land to take the job or far off place, or even have to move out of the city you're in if you're looking for employment. So this eclipse can open those doors up for an Aries as well. And if you want a pet, this is not too bad because large animals like horses belong to the 12th house, but little animals like doggies live in the 6th. And so there's a new beginning reset button here. But it could just be you go for a foreign breed, like you're going to go for some exotic, kind of dog from another country. I wouldn't get a dog right away. There is an eclipse. You've got up to like 3 months to get a dog. I'd wait till Mars is leaving your 4th house, okay? And I did tell you when that was. Let me get it back. Mars will leave your 4th house on September 28th. But if in October you want to get a pet, I'd say go for it. And with Jupiter in your 5th house and some money luck coming here, you could also be able to eliminate a debt. Like cut a debt away from your life, pay it off, get rid of it. These are expenditures in your 12th. Now you got a spotlight on your expenses and expenditures. With a Mercury accountant mind, you could release it. Because it's also connected to Uranus and there's a T-square energy, there's a lot of surprise or unexpectedness to what's happening. But Mercury in his own dignity gives this thing a lot of strength. And Jupiter in the 5th house is still blessing you. So and they're going to maybe a shocking surprise or unexpected development to do with money and job and work, travel, 3rd house, teaching, writing, and communicating, and maybe even things to do with your online social media landscape. It could bring you some significant money as well, but it can also just light up some new perspective on your earnings as well because of the digital income, borderless revenue, 12th house meanings, right? Okay, that's what I got for that eclipse. You know how it's been operating already. You've had eclipses here since 2024. And so you've been looking at this story since then. I incorporated in 2024 and began to make money as a corporation. So that would be an example of how that eclipse worked for me in 2024. But my money is from around the world, right? I'm an Aries like you guys. So if that makes sense, I'm on the last rendition. And lastly, because the eclipse is here, but the node is in the 11th, it will involve friends, allies, benefactors, a sibling one older, and it could even connect you to larger groups of influence. And also the money, job, work story. All right, and this is a cool eclipse. I'll be doing another video on it. Don't worry about that. Jupiter trines Saturn at the end of the month, and it continues on and on and on. And it's going to go for like a couple of weeks, but it begins in the last week of August. You'll start to feel it around the 27th, maybe even a little earlier, maybe around the 26th. So the 26th of August, all the way through to August 31st, we see this beautiful trinal energy between Jupiter and Saturn. This is positive. This means that you are really now diving into the joy field, and you're like, oh my God, I'm having fun with my art, my creativity, my children, my romantic partner. And let's like grumpy old Saturn is lightening up a lot. The last week of August, you could also travel. If you do travel, it'll be for fun, pleasure, and leisure. Like you're not traveling because you have to travel. It's not work related. It's joyful leisure travel that may emerge. It could be also travel connected to a sibling visiting you, or you're visiting a sibling, that kind of thing. Sibling energy gets activated by Uranus here. And then the other thing to be aware of is that Mars will square Saturn on the last day of the month, and it'll bleed through 2 days before and 2 days after August the 31st. Mars is the Lord of your sign. That's why we're paying attention to him. As he's squaring Saturn, this is where there could be a breaking point. Something in your life is coming to a turning point, breaking point. And again, there's a lot of emotion here. You might be angry or frustrated or flying off the handle at somebody you live with, or someone you live with flies off the handle. And the breaking point with Saturn is coming from Saturn's wish to make a discerning action or choice at this moment. Mars has definitely got some emo problems, and Saturn isn't in his best shape, but he is at least in Mars's house. So he's trying to please Mars, as well as Mars is trying to act decisively. You're making a major choice point in the last 2 days of August, maybe the last 3 days of August. Okay, I'll give you exact time. It's kind of engaged here around August 26th. It will probably play out till September 2nd or 3rd. And there's a major turning point of decisions and actions you're making. And it can influence many areas of your life, your career choices, your work choices, your relationship choices, your domicile and where you live choices. When it's exact, right? Like exactly happening is important. I'll take us back a little bit for you. We've lost you. All right, I'm going to get us exact. Give me a minute. Another day. Take a look. Here we go. Like that's almost there. Goodness gracious. 13 and 13, good enough. So it's exact on August 31st, which is a Monday, and it's all in the temple of the moon, and the moon is in the house of work. So work, dogs, pets, rental properties, and health matters. But because this is all connected to oh, sorry, that's not the moon. The moon is in your sign. Oh my God, you're taking this really personally. You are really in an emotional state. The moon is in your sign, fired up by Aries in the temple of the moon. There's a mutual reception though, and that saves the day for you, Aries, especially. It's like the Lord of your sign is in the temple of the moon, and the moon is in the temple of Mars on the 31st of August. And what that allows for, and you'll feel that allowance on the 30th, 31st, is making a correct decision, making the right choice, and taking the necessary action at that time. Okay, that's what we got for you this month ahead. Hopefully that is useful. Don't forget, come join me in Sky Reader. I am a teaching astrologer. I'd love to see you there. Every year I teach Sky Reader in the fall. It's always in September. It's usually 6 weeks long, and this time we're going for 7. We're taking it a little slower, giving you a very kind of leg up first week, which we take the pieces of the sky and teach you to read them in a very constructive and well-paced manner. This is my favorite class to teach. When I teach Sky Reader, I always feel so excited because you have learned to read your own sky. You now know what your chart is all about, and you know how to read the basic language of astrology for your friends, family, and your children, whoever you want to share it with. No, we're not professionally certifying you. At Lunatic Astrology, and I'm your teacher, Lori Lothian. We're teaching you to fish so that when you listen to me on YouTube and you're getting all of that guidance, maybe you can also get your own. You know, we don't want to move against the sky. We want to move with the sky. We want to move in the area of our lives that brings us flow and ease, because the sky supports that. And by having a knowledge of what the sky is saying and relative to our own natal sky, we are able to operate at a new level. That level is about flow. It is about not arguing with what is happening and moving in the direction of what wants to happen. It is so darn simple. Life is full of ups and downs, but if you know that there's a swamp, 2 doors away, and if you walk that way, you're going to get stuck in quicksand, you can avoid that. If you go to the left instead of the right, there's a beautiful meadow with a lake. Why not take that path? The sky is always grabbing us. It's called the grahas, or the grabbers. The planets, like where they're going in the sky, the transits, that moving heavens, the moving stars, the map of time is a map of where we should avoid getting stuck and where we may move forward with freedom. And the grabber part of planets is that they're almost like celestial teasers, right? They want to grab us and make us move in a direction. Sometimes it's not in our highest and best good. And I don't mean in a conscious, malefic way. I just mean you can take something like Neptune and make it all about transcendence and spiritual union and high creativity and imagination. And you can take it all the way down to drug addiction, and destitution maybe, and even things to do with mental challenges, health challenges. So you can operate at all levels of every planet. In Sky Reader, we show you your highest potential. Now, this is an introductory class. If you want to come to Sky Reader to be your own astrologer and time your best life, then you're coming because you are curious astrologically. You're not coming because you've already taken some heavyweight courses under your belt. You're coming because you've been listening to my channel or other astrologers, and you've always had a curiosity about learning, and you've always wanted to learn to read the sky, which is the map of time. So I'm hoping some of you will come join me there, because I've graduated hundreds of students so far, and the feedback is wonderful. And I invite all of my students, former, to come back every year and play around in redoing the course for 75% off, because I think the more you do it, the more you deepen it. We have guest teachers every year. When you join Sky Reader, you get the archived vault. In other words, you can go back and watch other guest classes in astrocartography, the astrology of relocation, and things to do with zodiacal releasing and more. We have these guest teachers coming in this year, are so much fun. We have a guest teacher about the love codes, Donnie Lim of astrology, learning to read your Venus story. We have a guest teacher coming in about medical or wellness astrology. We have another one showing us about how to choose the perfect day to do something, day and time to launch your website, get married. That's called electional astrology. We have what's your purpose, dharma kind of thing with another teacher. So what we're doing is we're giving you a lot of content. What you're doing is you're taking time to learn, but also to hold on to that content forever. It is evergreen. Once you have it, you never don't have it. If it's over your head at first, you won't be over your head when you take a second stab at it. Weekly Q&As, different time zones, so we can get people around the world in those Q&As. We alternate between evening and night every second week on Wednesday nights, and usually they're at 5:30 or 6 p.m. Pacific time. We also have the idea that the class itself is now happening at 9:30 a.m. in Pacific time on Saturday, starting on the 19th of September. So that's wonderful. We have a Facebook group and a Discord group that we have moderators running, where you can meet other people who are learning astrology, share your notes, and get to meet some new astrologically curious friends. Who knows? You might meet your soulmate there. And we're also taking you through a journey that is sequential, from learning to read the sky to being able to use 2 very profound timing tools to help you understand your reality and begin to move forward with ease and grace. The feedback from Sky Reader year after year has been phenomenal, and every time I teach it, I learn to make it more simple, more well-paced, and more easy for you to grasp. So I'm in 7 years of doing this. I think I'm getting it down finally to a fine art, thanks to you guys. I'm going to show you the website just so you see what it looks like. I'm now moving most of my content to lorilothian.com. It used to be somewhere else at Padaya. If you're there already, nothing is taken away from you. At this point, though, I'll show you the new website so you can take a gander at what the sky sky looks like over there, what my site looks like. And I hope to see some of you in class. I always say this, and I'm not making this up. You might probably think, oh, that's a sales pitch. Oh, I might not teach this next year. That's not true. I always wonder if I'm just going to retire and start to write books. And my agent wants me to write a book. And so I have a lot on my plate to get done in this life. Legacy is to leave a book behind. So for me, when I say I may not teach this next year, Lori may not teach this next year. Okay. All right. So this is the website, lorilothian.com. If you go /sky-reader, you'll be at the introduction to the course and the enrollment page. We're on a discount code right now until the end of July. Well, it's not a code, it's just a discount. There's 40% off the full price. And then in August, depending on when you hear this, there'll be another lower price, not as discounted as July's early enrollment price, but by September, it will go to full price. So make sure that you get in this class with a discount if that's something you're looking for. So you can see this beautiful website was created by my team. I think it's gorgeous. Learn to read your sky. And then there's a preview of what we have going on. So when you get into the course backdrop and you're there, you're going to have like stuff already waiting for you, a little tutorial on how to cast your chart in whole sign houses, free meanings of the 12 houses PDF. And I have what I call your Astro Toolkit. And I'm always adding more stuff to that toolkit. You don't need a professional software. You can use Astrocom, astro-seek.com, time passages. These are free softwares. This is not requiring you to purchase professional software in order to learn in my course. And you'll see that we have the toolkit here. These are elements that go in, how to cast your chart in whole sign houses. These are already in the back end of the program. Your cheat sheet pack, 12 signs, 12 houses guide. This is just learning tools. This is all going to help you learn. For most classes, I'll be putting together a handbook to help guide you through each class, which is new this year, kind of a prompts, a questions, things to fill out so that you can use it as a kind of self-study tool. Just print it out on a PDF on a computer. I'll aim to keep it black and white, of course, so you don't have to worry about color. And then we see that the Astrology 101 is we set you up really slowly. I call it the slow start, where we're really going to build the basic building blocks together so that when you come off of week one, you are like someone who went to kindergarten to learn the alphabet. You're going to have the basics in your toolkit, in your understanding already. And then we talk about the various parts of the sky, the big four, the 12 houses, dignity matters. Planets have dignity. You want to understand that. Otherwise, there's nothing you're going to understand without that. Dignity matters. We're also using whole sign houses, and this is ancient Hellenistic astrology. The focus will not be on the outer planets because we can't use them as time lords. And so it's not that there's anything wrong with the outer planets, but they're not good for timing your best life. Unless you want to live 248 years, says Pluto, 164 years, says Neptune, or 84 years, says Uranus. They're not the most timely tools, right? Solar returns is one of the things we do, and we learn about the perfection ages. Now, you may think I know all about my solar return and my perfection age. I don't think you do. I embed in some advanced tools there for you that you won't probably find anywhere else after like 8 years and thousands of clients, nonstop teaching and seeing real clients in the trenches. I have figured a few things out, and I always like to share what I figured out with you guys so that you can also use those tools the way I do. There's always bonus content here. And so you get from me, not to use until you've taken Sky Reader, the birthday chart advanced course as your solar return, the annual perfections advanced course, and how to find people in your chart. Where's my mom? Where's my kids? Where's my husband? Where's my siblings? How to find the planets that represent those people in your chart. That is also a part of a course that I've taught that I give you as a part of your bonus toolkit. Okay, so I hope you guys will go over. I hope you'll have fun if you come to study with me. I would love to see you there. When I talk about teaching, without a doubt, it is my favorite thing to do. It gives me a joy, actually. And don't forget that I also have Substack where I write weekly world astrology columns and all sign stuff, and it's free. I also have a Patreon community where I teach classes, and I love being with my students there. They're all these small groups, and we have many different types of meetings depending on your tier. And the replays are available if you can't make them, of course. And we also have my activities here on YouTube. Join my members only community where I have extended members versions every Monday for the week ahead astrology. And also we'll be starting to do some live streams this September, October, probably for my members, maybe even in August. All right. So I'll be seeing you guys on the live streams now and then just to say hi and chat with you about astrology. So think about my members only. I'd love to see you on this platform with me as well. And I'll see you guys around. Take care.
Lunatic astrology.